Top Connecticut State Police leaders retiring as investigators. Hartford, Connecticut. AP. The top 2 leaders of Connecticut State Police will be stepping down in the middle of multiple investigations into whether troopers submitted bogus data on thousands of traffic stops that may have never happened. Governor Ned Lamont said Wednesday. State Public Safety Commissioner James Rovella and Colonel Stavros Mellekas, commanding officer of State Police, will be retiring, Lamont said at an unrelated news conference. A formal announcement was planned for later in the day, the Democratic governor said. Rovella and Mellekas were not being forced to leave, but he declined to elaborate further on the reasons and timing of their departures. He said more information would be released at the formal announcement. I think at the end of 4 years, you want a fresh start, said Lamont, referring to his second term that began in January. And I wanted that in a lot of my departments, and I thought it was the right thing to do in public safety. There's a lot of clearing of the air in public safety, and I think some new folks will make a difference. Rovella and Mellekas were not immediately available for comment through a state police spokesperson, who did say had not been advised of the retirements. U.S. Department of Justice investigators are looking into whether dozens of troopers falsified information about traffic stops that were never made. There also is an independent investigation ordered by Lamont that is being led by a former federal prosecutor. The information in question was entered into a database that tracks the race and ethnicity of drivers stopped by police, under a Connecticut law aimed at preventing racial profiling. Auditors said the alleged false data was more likely to identify motorists as white, which skewed the race and ethnicity data collected to compile statewide reports. The reports have shown nonetheless that black and Hispanic drivers are pulled over at disproportionate rates compared with white motorists. In August, the state police union voted no confidence in both Rovella and Mellekas, accusing them of not defending troopers against allegations involving the traffic stop data. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than Rovella was confirmed by state lawmakers in February 2019 to serve as commissioner of the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, which oversees state police. He's been in law enforcement for 4 decades, including as a homicide detective and the chief for Hartford Police. Mellekas joined the state police as a trooper in 1994 and worked his way up to become commanding officer in 2019. He previously worked as a police officer at the U.S. Capitol. An audit released by University of Connecticut data analysts in June found a high degree of confidence that troopers submitted false information on citations for at least 25,966 traffic stops, and possibly more than 58,000 stops, that may have never happened from 2014 to 2021. Auditors said information on those stops could not be found in the state's court system, which handles all traffic violations, leading to the conclusion that data was likely falsified. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than auditors said 130 troopers had significant disparities between the number of citations they sent to the court system and higher numbers entered into the race and ethnicity database. They said a total of 311 troopers had discrepancies in at least one of the years audited. The data analysts, however, cautioned that they did not try to determine whether the records were intentionally falsified or were wrong due to carelessness or human error. The Connecticut State Police Union has cautioned against making any conclusions about troopers' conduct before the investigations are complete. It says more than 24 troopers already have been cleared of wrongdoing in connection with the traffic citation data, and it expects more to be cleared. Union officials have said many discrepancies found in the audit could be due to record-keeping or data entry errors. Associated Press writer Susan Hay in New London, Connecticut, contributed to this report.